Hello and welcome to Culture on I-24 News. I'm Lid Grober, and today a lovely show for you. Choreographer and performer Arkadi Zaides is here to speak about his new project. A unique group of women take their message of coexistence across Europe. And 20 years since Andy Dufresne has set himself free. Arkadi Zaides is an Israeli choreographer and performer. His award-winning work has been performed around the world, and his latest project, Sound Bodies, will take place at Jaffa's Warehouse 2 starting November 20th. I'm very happy to have Arkadi here in the studio. Thanks for coming in, Arkadi.
Thank you for having me.
So this new project is being called an experiment, meant to explore local sonic phenomena that occur in social and political spheres. Could you elaborate on that a little bit, just a little?
Well, first of all, I was invited by the Curtain Up Festival, which is the biggest festival we have here to support young artists, to hold this experiment, to hold this research lab. And I decided to focus on sound and to explore sound, not only in the theatrical space, but to go out and to listen what's happening outside and how sound is generating choreography in the social sphere. In a sense, observing sonic phenomena or sonic events, and to see how they are constructing movement in space.
Wow, that's quite an undertaking. What do you think you'll achieve? What sorts of insights you think you might stumble upon?
Well, I think mostly the idea is to get the audience into a mode of listening, not only in the theater space, which we can say it's a kind of a safe space, but also to get their awareness of how their movement is being, in a sense, constructed or guided, also outside of the theater.
Right. Now, you're going to do this through dance, I'm assuming.
Well, not only through dance, because it's an event which will hold also lectures, also debates, and also performative events. So it's kind of a more expanded choreographic event.
Okay. Right. Now, you were a dancer, you're a choreographer, a performer in general. Why is dance, why do you see dance as the right tool to explore these issues, to ask these questions?
Well, dance is my medium, so I observe reality through movement, and I also believe in the body as a tool to transmit message. So in a sense, I believe that when I move or somebody moves, I can acknowledge things that through my thinking or my thought is not always can happen.
Right. Interesting. Now, your work up till now has been very political. I can only assume this will have a political aspect as well.
Yeah. Yes, I'm quite believe I believe in not separating these two spheres, the theatrical sphere and the political sphere, and I'm constantly trying to make a bridge between them and to insist on this connection that for me is very important, especially in the local political environment.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Yes.
How do you touch on these sorts of political issues with dance?
Well, it starts from in my previous works. I also collaborated with Palestinian collaborators. I think it's a matter of not being myself in a safe zone, but trying to expand my gaze and to communicate with environments which I'm not coming in communication usually or assumingly I wouldn't go to as a choreographer. So I think I'm constantly trying to challenge my own position and to communicate with what I see around me.
And beyond its effect on your immediate environment, what do you hope it will achieve?
Well, it's a good question. What art succeeds to achieve to who it's communicating itself.
Right, because if we're honest, you know, and we don't have to be, but let's, the crowd, the audience of these kind of performances usually is educated, well-off, people who don't necessarily need the nudge in a certain direction politically.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't like generalize all the audience, because I think
I certainly have, and it's true to a point, but I think that still at its core it's true.
I think by going out of the safe zone, let's call it, I'm also inviting people outside of this closed circle to enter and to be invited to be interested about this medium. So through my works, years of activity, I approached with my work to different kind of audiences, and from different social background, and I think this is what is most interesting for me, is not to go to the common audience, but to try through the work, through the subjects I'm dealing with, to address different kind of audience.
I see. So what can we expect to see in Sound Body?
So Sound Bodies is an experiment. It's a 3 days event which will host guests both from Israel and both from abroad. We will see lectures. We will hear lectures. We will hear sounds. We will see performances, which I think all of them are going through the medium of the sound, but they kind of reveal a broader implication of this medium.
I see. All right, sounds very interesting, Arkadi. I have to once again. What are we seeing here, by the way?
We're seeing a work of Rodrigo Sobarzo. He's a Chilean choreographer working in Amsterdam. I'm very, very happy that he's coming here. This work specifically and this action specifically that we see here is very interesting to put here in the Jaffa Harbor, because this specific movement generates a sound which reminds waves.
Yeah.
And I think this positioning of the sea, which is usually
flat
in a frontal screen, with the sound, I think it will bring us all kind of to question again this surface and its sound.
Yeah, it looks to be very interesting. Arkadi, once again, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Now, how can a small communal project be transformed into an international exhibition? This is the unique story of a small group of women from the Galilee, northern Israel, who crossed the Mediterranean to spread their message of coexistence through an exhibition on the theme of the olive tree. Here's the report by Tami Arel, Pazit Dank, and Sandy Fortis.
The olive tree, a universal symbol of peace. This symbol is now the principal theme of an exhibition unlike any other. Titled The Olive Tree, it brings together paintings representing the majestic tree made by the Jewish and Arab women, Christian or Muslim, of the Galilee. The project was initiated by Vitzo, a secular and apolitical NGO engaged in social action on behalf of women and children in Israel.
I began by inviting Jewish women artists and Arab women artists to meet once a week in our community center. The purpose was so that we can learn to know each other and understand each other, to find what we have in common and to paint together an olive tree. The rest is here for you to look at. These colorful, expressive paintings telling our story.
This exhibition, which opened last March, toured in several cities in northern Israel, but also went beyond the country's borders. The olive tree opened last week in France, in the city of Mulhouse, the first stop of a European tour.
There are many people, there's a symbol, there is brotherhood, there's desire to do something together, and it's here in my home Mulhouse. I am very proud.
A sentiment shared by the public.
I think it's a great idea, and it really is a beautiful message. It's a pleasure to see these paintings. It's colorful, it's alive. The olive tree is a beautiful symbol.
In honor of the occasion, the women who participated in this project traveled together to Mulhouse, an intense and moving experience.
I am honored to belong to this association of Jewish and Arab women. We are working together through art to enhance our lives, first as women and then to change the bitter present. We represent women of art, of change, and of rebirth.
David Moati, director of the Vito Center in Afula and the one responsible for this project, paid tribute to these talented women spreading a message of hope.
You women artists, you are the doves of this generation. The dove of peace, the dove for a better world. It is no coincidence that the project is called in French hyphen. It is the link between people, all the little hyphens that make it so two people can be bound to each other in perfect harmony.
A message of coexistence through art that will spread through France and Europe thanks to the paintings of these women from all Israeli walks of life.
In just a moment, we'll talk about the Shawshank Redemption, now 20 years old. But first, our cultural recommendation of the day.
Some 400 works by surrealist artist Man Ray are in exhibition before going to auction. Man Ray was often misunderstood. He saw things in a different way, and that's what makes him so fascinating. He made prints, drawings, films, and objects. He was a true multimedia, all-around artist who was constantly oscillating between media, techniques, and process in order to achieve a work of art. In order to express a concept or an idea, be it Dada, surrealist, or simply avant-garde. The exhibit also includes portraits of artists such as Pablo Picasso and Marcel Duchamp.
And now it's time for a Shachar Peled segment, Off Screen. Hey, Shachar.
Hi, Odin.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right. What you got for us today?
Okay, I want to take you back to 1994. We've already spoken about that year pretty a lot in this show.
Yeah,
it's been an incredible year for both Hollywood cinema and television. We've celebrated 20 years of anniversary for Pulp Fiction, for Friends, the TV show, The Lion King. It was the year of Forrest Gump. It was the year of Speed. A great year for American cinema. But the greatest one of them all, the one with the most vast, widest consensus, is with no doubt the Shawshank Redemption. Now, I will take you to the Oscars of 1995, and this is the most incredible Cinderella story Hollywood loves. Back in these Academy Awards, it is nominated for 7 awards, however, goes home with nothing. It's considered the flop, the biggest bomb of that year, and also in the box office. The same year, Golden Globe Awards, the Screen Actor Guild's Awards, only nominations and no awards. So,
thinking back about it now, it seems
bizarre
very.
Because it has been ranked the #1 film of the top 250 films on IMDb for as long as I can remember. It surpassed The Godfather back in 2008, and it reigns. It is crowned the best film of all times by over 1 million votes on IMDb, and I don't know any person who looks back at this film and doesn't say, oh, this is one of my best favorites.
It is a wonderful film, and it's so loved. You know, it's not like the most cinematic or the most innovative, but it's like like it has
something
heart.
about it, exactly, that it's both heart and soul and very good story, and the way it's told. Now, for those of you who haven't been living on Earth for the past 20 years, a short background. Stephen King wrote a short story called Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. They decided to shorten the name, but still Morgan Freeman years later thought that the name was one of the problems of the film, The Shawshank Redemption, an unusual name, and indeed it was a flop in the box office. It didn't even manage to bring back its $25 million budget. It was only a $16 million revenue, and others thought it was Stephen King's fault because many thought it was a science fiction horror film, and perhaps these were the reasons. But writer-director Frank Darabont, who bought the rights from King for $1, believed in it, and indeed it was worthwhile. It tells the story of Andy Dufresne, if to quote Morgan Freeman,
what he had to
crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. He's a banker who was convicted for both the murder of his mother, his wife and lover. He meets Red Morgan Freeman, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
absolutely.
indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it from us for today. I hope you enjoyed watching our show and that you'll choose to do it again over the weekend and next week.